shoes, Sarah. Thank you. Are they new?
No, they're actually really old.
Where shall Morgan sit?
Cool.
Where shall Morgan sit? Where shall Morgan sit? Where shall thy sit?
They're also here.
Okay. I'll sit.
I'm here.
How nice is this?
Where I'm from.
How nice is
Change where I was from. Guys, the introduction, setting, characters, and plot structure are all supposed to take 3 to 4 minutes, but just my setting takes 3 minutes. So I'm not. Okay, here's the thing. Like, the setting is a big part of my book because like where it is affects everything.
Well, then just take less time on like others.
But I said like basically everything that's in my paper and like all the details. So should I just summarize it?
Yeah, summarize it more. Like you can
Don't read your paper.
just go ahead and like just put like points on your like PowerPoint. So then like
I'm
it
not
goes-
using a PowerPoint.
Oh, well, never mind then.
That was
But then
me.
like do whatever you're doing, but like summarize it. So then if you have more time, you can like go even in more depth. But like in case you're like running out of time, you can like.
You
just,
can
like-
go on the
But I mean,
same
like,
day that I go
but the
because
setting's, like, the
mine's,
first
I'm
thing.
feeling mine.
No, yeah.
Oh gosh, here they come. Here they come, guys. Be prepared.
I don't know, guys. Cause like I just feel like this is all the important stuff, but I don't know. There was a 600? Yeah. Because I got a 600 and I didn't think that was right.
I got 300.
Well, that wasn't bad. I just divided it.
Yeah, maybe I divided.
That's what I got.
Oh,
What does that equal? What's 26 divided by 30?
I got 21 out of 30. What's that?
That's okay, I don't know.
How come I got
Just put it into your calculator.
It is
That's not too bad.
26 out of 30, that's not too good.
That's not too good, but it's not too bad. I thought I failed it.
Yeah, me too.
So
It's an 87, okay, that's a...
I saw
Ah,
you can
I
sit
touched
there.
it on again.
times 4 in the calculator, make sure I would get this.
Yeah.
I tried 8
Why?
Didn't mean to.
Why?
Why what?
What?
Wait,
I don't understand.
you said 12
I don't
times
know.
10 was
It's
12?
120. You guys only did one after triangle.
That's okay.
No.
At least it was a silly mistake, so you know how to do it now.
You like did the right
You learned
thing,
from
but
it.
you didn't add 8 plus 8. I don't know what
make
that
it
was
the base of 16.
Oh, darn. Okay.
I knew I should have doubled it. I was like, should I double this? And I was like, should I double this? And I was like, no, I think I did right. Shucks.
Everything was worth 3 points.
I did.
3 points for each problem, so for a total of 30. What questions do you have on the front? Morgan?
Oh, sorry. Number 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3. Okay. Number 1. Hannah actually noticed that this was a bad question. But the way that you guys did it, it didn't really affect your answer. But this picture is actually not accurate. I got it off of Google. And
I was so confused.
it's not a good picture because the 2 vertical sides on the right, the 5 and the 4, don't add up to the 10 on the left. So, sorry about that, but basically what most of you did was, what all of you did was did 12 times 10 and 6 times 4. So, this would be 120, and this would be 24. So it would be 120 plus 24. It would be 140.
Oh my, I did 120 plus 24 equals 146.
I did 10 times 12 equals 12, so.
Number 2. You know that this is 8 and this is 17, so if you use the Pythagorean theorem, you can get the height is 15. Because 8 squared plus the height squared will equal 17 squared. So the height will equal the square root of 17 squared minus 8 squared, which is 15. So that's the height. And the base would be 8 plus 8, which would be 16. So the area of the triangle would be 1/2 of 16 times 15, which is 120. Some of you made that a lot more complicated than it was.
I really didn't make it that complicated. I just gotta double it.
To find, I did the center thing, and then I made a triangle, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Like the apothem.
Yeah.
It's not an equilateral triangle, so you can't do that.
Because the two sides are 16.
Wait, you can't make a triangle thing within the triangle if it's not,
It won't work if it's not equilateral. You won't know what the central angle is.
oh.
Like you can split the triangle in half and make like a triangle. I did that and I used the Pythagorean theorem. I got the triangle.
Wait, so I can't do that?
I can't do that.
Like that little,
I can't see what you're
sorry. Like that little thingy?
No. It's not an equilateral triangle. That was for regular polygons.
Oh. Okay,
This is just a,
Okay.
well, it's an isosceles triangle.
okay.
So it's just 1/2 base times the height. You could determine the base and the height from the information that was given. Okay, other questions about number 2? Okay. Number 3, some of you made very, very complicated. So I told you when I passed it out, and I told you again when you asked me, that those are the diagonals. There's only one shape that has diagonals in its formula, and that would be a rhombus. It is a rhombus, and those are the diagonals. So it's 1/2 times 25
Oh, that is so
times 15.
Oh, wow.
I don't know, I didn't understand it was a rhombus, so I didn't think to like look up there. And so if I would have known that like the D stood for diagonal, it probably would have worked out to my benefit. But
Probably. I was like, oh my goodness, how many stuff you guys were doing on that.
I just multiplied.
That's what I did. I got 375. I was like, I don't know what else to do, so I'll just
Yeah.
multiply them together.
Well, that's a good guess.
We got the first half right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Other questions on the front?
For 6, was I just supposed to, when I did 10 square root 3 times 120, I was just supposed to leave the square root 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wait, what's the answer for that?
600 square root
600 squared.
I just got 600
Without
without
the
the
square.
A lot of you missed 6, so let's look at it. Most of you got like,
I understood the steps.
That-
That's good.
I forgot to put the square root 3 down. Dang it.
What was the answer?
600 square root 3.
most of you got that this part would be 10, and so then the one side would be 20. A lot of you fell apart when it came to finding the perimeter. So remember the formula of a regular polygon is 1/2 the apothem times the perimeter. So if it's a hexagon, 6 sides, each side is 20, then the perimeter would be 120. So it'd be 1/2 the apothem, which is the 10 square root 3, times 120. So that gives you 600 square root 3. Do you see your mistake?
I don't see my mistake because I got the like the whatever it's called.
I know
the
what you
expression.
did, I remember.
Okay.
You took half of the 10 and half of the 120.
Wait, isn't that what we're supposed to do?
No, it's just the first one. You just take half of it.
Or you can just multiply them together and divide them both by 2, that's how I do it.
That's
It
how
makes
I
more
do
sense
it.
in my head.
I thought that the bottom was 5 for some reason, and so when I added the other half of it together, I got 10, and so the perimeter, I got 60.
I forgot
So-
square root 3.
Yeah, I don't know how
I got
did
the
that.
answer, but then
Oh,
I
I
forgot
know what
square
I
root
did.
3.
Me too. I
But the thing is, I like wrote it down here.
thought that it was
Oh,
2A square root 3 for some
Well,
reason.
see, I said
I know
120, so it's
myself
24,
understand
it's
how to
146,
work
so it's
those.
okay.
That's what
Yeah.
happened.
oh man.
It
I
will.
could have gotten that one.
And I want you to understand why you can't do that. Do you understand why you can't do that?
I
Oh,
don't
I'm not
understand why I can't do that.
Okay.
I'm not
That's
sure
like-
about that.
That would be like saying if I have 2 times
So,
3 times 4, right? I have 3 things that are multiplied together. That would be like saying I'm gonna do 2 times 3 and 2 times 4 and then multiply them together. That's essentially what you're doing. If you're gonna do 1/2 of this and 1/2 times this, that would really be like 1/4 of it.
Okay, yes, that makes sense now.
Okay.
That's how I would have been lost.
Okay, anything else in the front? Aaron?
Go over number 4. Excuse me.
Okay, number 4 is a parallelogram. So it's just base times height. So it would be 8 is the base and the height is 4, and 8 times 4 is 32.
That's simple.
Yes.
That makes me feel bad.
On the back, I don't know how I did it, that all 7, 8, and 9 were all 6, but.
Yeah,
Is that not
that was
purposeful?
creepy.
I
I
didn't do that. It's really
was like, oh my god.
I'm like working it out.
She must have done that to confuse
I
us.
was looking, I was like, this is better.
Aaron?
Go over number 9, because I got 14 when everybody else got 6.
Yes.
Oh, I put my equation next to it, and that's not it backwards. No, just put the equation here and subdivided it. That's what I did.
Okay, so trapezoid formula. And then let's plug in what we know, so I told you the A would be 39, forgot to put that on there. 1/2 times the height times 8 plus 5. So 39 will equal 1/2 times the height times 13. You could either do half of 13, or I would probably multiply by 2 to get rid of the half there. Multiply this by 2, and that will give you 78 equals 13 times the height. Divide by 13. The height would be 6. Just after this point, however you want to solve it algebraically is fine. You could have 39 equals, if you do 1/2 of 13, you get 6.5 times the height divided by 6.5. Okay. And number 10, most of you got, apothem was 2 root 3 and the radius was 4 root 3.
Dang it. That root 3 is a problem.
I don't know who it was. Somebody had their 30, 60, 90. Maybe more than one of you had your 30, 60, 90
Mine was
turned.
fine. I had my apothem was just 2 and my radius was just 4, so I just forgot to put the square root 3 in there, which is what happened on my first page too.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So you have an equilateral triangle with a side of 12. So this would be 6, and this would be 60 degrees, and this would be 30. So 6 is the longer leg, because it's opposite the 60-degree angle. So that is going to be A root 3. This is A, this is 2A. So to get A, we have to divide by the square root of 3. So 6 over the square root of 3 will equal, or we'll have to multiply by the square root of 3 times the square root of 3, which would be 6 square root of 3 over 3, which would be 2 square root of 3. Questions about that part?
I think, when I did it, I had like, it said the thing was like 6, over square root 3 times square root 3 over square root 3, but I had like canceled out the square root 3 next to the 6 and underneath the 6, and then just had like, I don't know, so I ended up with like 6 over 3, and then just divided it to get 2, and then multiplied it to get 4. So, but that doesn't work because it was multiplying and not dividing it. That makes sense.
Okay. Maddie? Yeah, I thought that maybe that was good. Yeah, and so then that would be twice that, so that would be 4 square root. Okay? Alright, anything else? Did you do better than you thought you did?
Yes.
Still got it.
I don't know.
Feel
I
better.
really failed it though, so.
So are we gonna have our final exam over what we learned wait, what's today? Thursday. Over Friday and Monday, since Tuesday's a review day?
Your final exam will be over this,
Oh,
and we're gonna be doing circles today and tomorrow, and
Interesting.
possibly Monday also.
okay.
Circumference and area of circles
Um,
will be added on in addition to this.
That doesn't sound too hard.
I don't think it will be,
I did that when I was
but you guys don't like to take my opinion about this.
Oh my gosh. I think I took my notes already.
The definitions of circumference and area sort of allude to calculus, so
Uh-oh.
it's fun. Get a taste of what calculus is sort of like. But the circumference, the definition of circumference is the limit of the perimeters of the inscribed regular polygons. Does anyone have any idea what that means?
Not really.
Lauren was here, she could enlighten
Yeah,
us.
if I remember.
Wanna take a stab, Wolfie?
Just like the around the the limit, so the edge.
It is around, yes, okay, and that's what the circumference is, yes, like, sort of like the perimeter of a circle. What that means is, if we have a circle, and we inscribe polygons, so if we inscribe, the smallest polygon is a triangle. If we inscribe a triangle and take its perimeter, that's not gonna be very close to the perimeter of the circle, right? Because it's quite far off. But if we make it a square and we find that perimeter, that's gonna be a little bit closer to the perimeter of the circle. If we make it a pentagon, let's go to a hexagon or an octagon. The more sides we have of our inscribed polygons, the closer that perimeter gets to what the perimeter of the circle would be. Does that make sense? So that's what this is saying. The limit is as, in calculus terms, as the number of sides would approach infinity. So if we would add an infinitely number of sides, you would see if you tried to draw like, 100-sided polygon, it would look probably like a circle. Even when I try to draw a decagon, it looks like a circle. Because, because you're trying to make it all the sides. So if the number of sides is getting closer and closer to infinity, then the perimeter of that shape would be approaching the perimeter of the circle. That's what that means. And the area is the same way. So as we get an inscribed polygon with a lot of sides, that will be similar to the area of a circle. Okay, so in any circle, if you would find the circumference and divide it by the diameter, they have determined that you will get the same number in any circle. So no matter what circle you have, if you take the circumference of that circle and divide it by its diameter, you will come out with a number. Does anyone know what number that would be? It's a very special number. Wolfie?
Pi.
Pi. That would be the number pi. So that's how they've come up with pi. If you take a circle and divide it by its diameter, you would get pi. And so that theorem produces the equation or the formula for the circumference of a circle, which would be 2 pi r. Let's look at some examples in your book. And instead of doing the oral exercises, why don't we do some of the written so you know what to do on your homework assignment. Might be a better plan. So if you look at the bottom of page 324, you need to find the circumference of a circle whose, say, let's do number 4, whose diameter equals 3 1/3. So we can think about this in two ways. What's the relationship between the radius and the diameter?
The radius is half of the diameter.
Right, the radius is half of the diameter, or 2 of the radius would equal the diameter, right? So if you look at this formula, we have 2 times the radius. So sometimes another way to write this would be C equals pi times the diameter, because we have 2 times the radius in the formula. So if you're given the diameter, you could divide that by 2 to find the radius. But if you're finding the circumference, you're just going to have to multiply it by 2 again. So, save you some time. We could just do, the circumference would equal pi times the diameter, which would be 3 1/3. And unless you are told to use an approximation of pi, you don't use an approximation of pi, you just leave it as pi. So basically the circumference would be, I really don't like 3 1/3. I'm gonna say 10 pi over 3. But basically you just multiply that. Either non-X number. So the circumference would be 10 pi over 3.
How did you go from
Yeah,
3
how did-
1/3 to 10 pi?
Okay, changing a mixed number to an improper fraction.
Oh, that's what you did?
3 times
Oh,
3 would be 9,
got it.
plus 1 would be 10.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Okay, or 10/3 pi.
Forgot it. Pre-op.
What is
Besides,
decimal, like, the decimal answer? Or do you just want it in like that?
If it's given to you as a decimal, you can leave it as a decimal. Okay, but like in, let's do number 8. In 8, they give you that the circumference is 15 pi, and they want you to find the radius. So if we know that the circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius, and the circumference is 15 pi, how will we find the radius?
You divide 15 by 2.
Yes. So we're dividing 15 pi by 2 pi. The pi's will undo each other, so the radius, you could just leave it like that, 15 halves. It'll be 15 halves. Or 7 1/2 will be.
Can you just divide by 2 without doing that
You don't have
process?
to write the work down.
Well, yeah.
No.
Okay.
But like, I guess all of those do have a pi in them. But as long as you understand where it's coming from,
Yeah.
that's fine. Then in 13 through 18, they tell you to use pi is approximately 3.14. So then you do need to get a number answered. Don't leave pi in your answer. Morgan?
So would like number 10 just be 5 root 2 over 2?
Yes.
Okay.
So like for number 14, they give you the diameter is 8.6, and they tell you to use 3.14 for pi. So that, again, you can just do pi times the diameter. So 3.14 times 8.6. And what will that give you?
27.
That's a whole number?
Well, it says .004.
You're rounding.